Morning, and welcome to the Dougherty County School System Mid-Month Board Meeting. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any presentations or public comments?
Yeah, I do think we have a request for, sorry. Madam Chair. Good morning, Madam Chair, board members. I do think we have a request from Mr. Perry Ford to make public comments, and if he's here, I think he is. He can certainly make his comments. Yeah, 5 minutes, Mr. Ford.
I won't need it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And citizens of Albany.
Thank you.
It's for the people online. It's for the people online. Yeah, man.
Hello, people online. All right, this is just for an update. I came to the last meeting, asked for your support. You all graciously awarded me your support, so here's a hug. I hope you all can feel genuineness. With that being said, the Albany Block Party has gotten a lot of traction, and the students at 4C, they understood the assignment. They participated with a video created at 4C with Miss Mia Coleman Turner, who just recently got married. So big shout out to Miss Turner, congratulations for that. And also Miss Dougherty, they created flyers. The flyers didn't turn out as well, and that was to my lack of information given to them. So the reason that I'm here is to beg and plead with you and Miss Lakeisha Bruce to release the video. The video has been sent to Miss Bruce, and the event is this Saturday, so you ought to look at it kind of quickly. That'd be great. And I just want to get that permission because it was done by students of Dougherty County School System, and it was done at one of the facilities. So I just want to do it with proper order.
Yes, sir. Madam Chair.
Yes, sir. Mr.
Yeah.
Dyer.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Ford. My understanding that this event is open to the public, but it is a charge to participate. Correct?
Absolutely not. Well, yes and no. The charge is for the activities. It's a $20 activity charge, and it depends on what it is. A $20 activity for the 5K, you'll get a finisher medal at other events, and if you win, you get a drone. The play, run, and yell day, it's a $20 charge for the 4 events for the school-age kids.
Right.
The game called spins, where you spin around on a baseball bat and run a 20-yard dash. Water balloon toss, and fruit by the foot. The speed competition,
Right.
speed eating with your that's $20. And the high school hike, that is the part where I would like to charge so that I'll be able to get back to Albany State Athletics. But if y'all don't want me to charge for that, then I won't charge.
The challenge we have is that our policy. We use school system resources, students during that time, our employees during that time, using our video equipment to promote a for-profit event. Not if you are a not-for-profit entity, we could do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was the concern, because once we do that, then it's not only a violation of board policy, it's a violation of state law using school system resources to promote a for-profit event. And so that was the concern when Ms. Bruce called me when I was out of town. I said, no, we can't do that because of board policy. And that's the rationale for it. If you were not charging, or if you were not for profit engaged in a partnership with us, then we could do that, but not for a for-profit event or for-profit entity.
All right. So if I just take the charge out for the high school students, would that be possible?
The hype video was specifically for the high school event.
Oh, yes, sir. That's what the use of it is for.
Okay. And so could they go to your event and participate?
Yes, it's free of charge for all citizens.
Right, so they can go to the event free of charge, participate in the high school hype event with no charge.
Oh yeah, that just became free like 10 seconds ago.
Okay, all right. Then if that's the case, then we can work with it. All righty. Madam Chair, in my opinion, I think that meets the criteria for the since it is not a for-profit event for that particular portion of it. And if I recall correctly, the video was just for that high school hype event, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yes, sir. And Madam Chair, board members, I think that meets our criteria, and I'm fine with it moving forward.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm glad you're my friend.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, sir.
Would you all like any advertising for the school system? Is there anything I can do for you all? Anything.
We do appreciate your partnership, Mr. Ford. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Ford.
I think that's the last
Is there
Only
another?
public comment? All right.
Okay.
Next we have a couple of presentations, and we'll start with Miss Callie Evans, who's going to, as you know, we discussed at the last meeting, it was School Board Appreciation Week, and we wanted to make sure we recognized the board at that time. We did, and Ms. Evans is going to continue that recognition by reading a proclamation by our governor.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
By the governor of the state of Georgia, a proclamation, School Board Appreciation Week. Whereas the education of Georgia's children is the key to this state's continued prosperity and success. And whereas for Georgia to continue to grow, we must commit to our state students by providing high academic standards, trained teachers and staff, and adequate resources to all schools. And whereas Georgians serving on school boards have demonstrated a strong commitment to quality public education by securing necessary resources, promoting academic standards, and fostering partnerships within communities. And whereas Georgians elected to boards of education collaborate with school systems, parents, businesses, and community leaders so that teachers can become educated, productive members of the state and nation now. Therefore, I, Brian T. Kemp, Governor of the state of Georgia, do hereby proclaim March 8th through 14th, 2026 as School Board Appreciation Week in Georgia. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the Executive Department to be affixed this 13th day of January in the year of our Lord, 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. We certainly appreciate that. Terrence, I'm going to share my screen now. There is a saying that people are your organization's greatest asset. I somewhat subscribe to that theory, but Jim Collins says people are not your most important asset. The right people are. And I fully subscribe to that theory. And I want to say that this board is comprised of the right people. For 4 years in a row, they've been recognized by achieving the Georgia School Board Association's highest designation as an exemplary board. Quality board, distinguished board, and an exemplary is the highest recognition. And this board has achieved that for 4 consecutive years. And I know when Reverend Bush and Ms. Poole, when we first got on the board, I think it goes without saying that we were far from that. It took a lot of work, and we're there. And now it's the expectation, as our friends across the river say, all about excellence is the standard. And you certainly made excellence a standard in governance, and it's exemplified by your recognition as an exemplary board for 4 years in a row. And although we did have School Board Appreciation Week, we had a meeting during School Board Appreciation Week. They didn't want to get recognized because we recognized our students during our night meetings, and they did not want to have a recognition of the board and replace the recognition by the students. And since we don't recognize the students during the noon meeting because they're in school, we said we'd delay that recognition of the board until this meeting. So that goes to their selflessness and their commitment to highlighting our students first. So with that being said, thank you, board members. We do have some certificates. If you don't mind, if you indulge us for a little bit to come down and we'll get your certificates and take a picture, then we'll come back to conduct the business of the school system. And so, Ms. Rhonda?
Board members?
Yeah.
Mr. Bush, you want to say after we take our picture, since we've already started?
Madam Chair, I just want to say that, I've been on this board for a long time, and Mr. Dye and Ms. Hatcher especially, and the other staff members have just made this board look good. And I just want to report, Mr. Dye, that since you've been involved with the Dougherty County school system, you and Ms. Hatcher, we used to have to borrow $15 million every year in December to make ends meet. Thus, now, since Mr. Dye, Ms. Hatcher endeavor, and this board, we have a surplus of $41 million in our reserve right now. Thank you. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir, that goes in large part to a finance committee chair that does not play the radio, and that's Reverend Bush, who's been our finance committee chair for at least since I've been with the school system. So thank you, sir, for your leadership in that regard, and to the board's leadership overall, particularly as being good stewards of taxpayer dollars.
All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you. Next someone. Thank you.
Does any board members, you gonna show us something?
No, we got more presentations.
Okay, does any board member would like to speak? I know Mr. Bush, I want to give everybody an opportunity. Ms. Heath, Dr. Fennessy,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ms. Hutley,
Thank you.
Dr. Hand, and Ms. Trotter.
It's an honor to serve.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Superintendent, back to you.
Next we have a presentation highlighting the exemplary work at 3 of our schools by Deputy Superintendent Vincent Davis.
Good afternoon. Well, today is a special honor today because this is an opportunity for us to update the board and provide an update on 3 of our schools who were or currently are federally identified. And so we want to share kind of an update and tell their story through data. I'm working here, Mr. Fields. Going to the next slide, Mr. Fields. And those schools are, hopefully you all have this presentation so you'll be able to access the pictures and take a look at their progress. But those schools are Alice Coachman Elementary School, who is currently designated as a Tier 4 school. And I don't know if you all remember a few board meetings ago, we actually provided an update as required by our MOU with the state of Georgia to provide an annual update on our federally identified schools in the past 2 CSI schools and 1 ATSI school currently. But Alice Coachman was one of those schools that we shared an update with. They're currently a Tier 4 school. We're going to talk a little bit about them. We're going to also share an update on Robert H. Harvey Elementary School, who for years going all the way back to 2017 was designated as turnaround eligible. 2017, 2018, 2019, and then after the pandemic, they hit 2022 designated as a Tier 4 school. But again, this afternoon, hopefully this morning, you get an opportunity to kind of hear about their journey. how they are accelerating student achievement with the growth that they are seeing. Mr. Dyer says this often. When you look at the raw results, it paints a picture of the enormous amount of work that's yet left to do. However, you don't go from A to Z in one step. There are steps, and so we hope we can paint that picture. The last school we'll talk about today, or the other school we'll talk about today, help me out with time, is Turner Elementary School. Turner Elementary School was also designated, going back to 2017, they had a state designation identification as a turnaround eligible school back in 2017. They had that designation for 1 year back in 2017. I hope as you look at the pictures, what you can see are a couple of things. Number one, you can see smiling faces of children. Because the dedicated staff persons, starting with the principal all the way to the front office staff, create environments at these schools and all of our schools that provides a welcoming space for our learners. You also see pictures of staff persons. You see all the smiling faces. You see the activities. You see parents, teachers. And so all of those things together go together to kind of propel the school forward. So this is some of what I just shared with you all, just kind of some of their journey, that slide about Alice Coachman. Alice Coachman, when they were designated as a Tier 4 school in 2022 or 23, they had to remain with that status for 4 years. So when you look at their raw results, when you look at their improvement, you would say, well, hey, they should be off the list by now. But they had to remain with that designation for 4 years. And you see some of the other bullet points that we talked about with Robert Harvey and Turner. Oh, one big piece I did not mention. Robert Harvey in 2022 exited. We celebrated them for having exited. They came out of the lowest 5% of schools in the state of Georgia. They came out of the lowest 5% of schools in the state of Georgia, which was a tremendous celebration. As people as Turner was only on the identification list for 1 year in 2017. They were no longer eligible 2018, 2019, 2022. Again, that's a testament to the work that's happening in those schools. So let's talk about Alice Coachman. Again, hopefully I can paint very quickly here, and please don't take me going through these slides expeditiously as minimizing the work that's happening there, okay? But Alice Coachman Elementary, we shared some of this at our last meeting, a couple of meetings ago. Their content mastery, you look at from 22 to 25, that's counting 4 years of data for these schools. 2022, CCRPI, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Okay, when we get to CCRPI, I'm going to pull up another year for you to capture that 4th year. But when you look at where they were in 2022, at 24 overall content mastery, that's taking all of the content areas, their tested subject areas into consideration. They grew from a 24.1 Alice Coachman to a 39.4. Tremendous gain. Science, you also see growth there. You see the math, content mastery, increased by 16 points. You see readiness, which takes into consideration students being able to read on a grade level, attendance, and other factors, CTAE, their connections, coursework. You see they improved by 18.4%. Here's the other thing I want to pull up here. CCRPI. With CCRPI to get 4 years, we went to 2019. So with the content mastery, math, English, we're looking at 2022 to 2025. We wanted to go back to 2019 when a lot of these schools were identified to see what their overall CCRPI score was, because that's what gave them the identification. They had to have 3 consecutive years, or an average of 3 years, where their scores were in the 50s. So look at Alice Coachman, what their CCRPI score was in 2019. It was a 57.7. This past year was a 72.7. Just if you want a little context with it, the state average in 2019 was 78.8. The state average in 2025 was 78. So that is demonstrating this. Alice Coachman is closing the gap. It's not like the whole state went up. The state actually went down, but they significantly closed that gap. So huge shout out. Let's move to Robert Harvey. Tell a little bit about their story. Again, Robert Harvey on the east side, Content mastery in 2022 was 31.5. This past year, content mastery at Robert Harvey was 53.2. I don't want to give you all the specifics of how the content mastery is calculated, but that is a tremendous progress.
Yeah.
Again, when you look at the raw results, the raw scores, to the school, the staff, and to us, this is work left to be done. But this progress is undeniable. Let's get down to the increased CCRPI. Again, I'm moving, trying to pick up the pace here. CCRPI in 2019, their CCRPI score was a 50.2. That's why they were designated as a turnaround eligible school in 17, 18, 19, and then a tier 4 school in 2022. And you see why there was such a great celebration at Robert Harvey when they were no longer identified at all. Because look, this past year in 2025, their CCRPI score was 0.6 points from an 80, a 79.4. And just to put the cherry on top, and again, we're just doing an update on these select schools. Turner Elementary, which was also identified, as we mentioned, that 1 year in 2017, also on the east side. Turner Elementary, back in 2022, their overall content mastery was 31. And in 2025, the overall content mastery that takes all of their subject areas into consideration was a 46.4. Just a tremendous jump in growth. And I want to tell you, if you go back and look at this, and look at that, pull up on CCRPI, all of it is not in a straight line. It's very difficult for improvement to be in a straight line. You go up a little, down a line. Up a little bit more, and down a little. That's the trajectory on most improvement journeys. It doesn't matter what improvement journey it is. But a tremendous celebration of Turner, just to highlight and update the board on the growth that has happened at Turner. And again, you see their CCRPI in 2019 was a 64.2. They were in the 50s. They were no longer identified as turnaround eligible back in 2019, 2018. They was only on that for 1 year. But when you look at where they are now, a 76.2. So those three schools that had historically, performed in the 50s, and so with their CCRPI score, are now in the 70s. You may say, well, they're still on the promise scholarship list, and they may very well be, but there's a difference of being in the lowest 5% and being in the lowest 25%.
Amen.
I want to call that out to encourage, the leaders and folks at the school as well as us. But let me get to a couple of things. This kind of just tells the same story we were just talking about. The numbers just paint the picture. This graph, this chart, this table paints the picture of their growth. Okay. And you see green, red, and blue. That's just those foundational colors for the schools. Robert Harvey being in red doesn't mean that this is bad. Okay. That's what we take this guy. Let's turn that all green. This is foundational colors back there. Okay. So you see the math content mastery, again, this is a multiple of what we were just talking about, and just kind of lays it out in a table format. Their English, this is the piece right here that I wish I could spend, and Mr. Dyer certainly said yesterday we were reviewing this, that we wish we could spend a whole day on this one slide. And thanks to this board, and the resources that have been allocated, number one, identifying early literacy as its first priority. From the early literacy specialists to the wraparound and support, to the teacher training and development, to the resources that have been forwarded to our classrooms. You see the evidence in a slide like this on paper, but you know where you see it most? You see it most when you see these places. The table can't do justice to a kid who's being celebrated at Turner, the kids at the bottom right, for having met their literacy goals. That's what it's about. Of course, the numbers matter, but this is where it really matters. So again, thank you, Mr. Dyer, for providing me this opportunity to just be the mouthpiece to the amazing work, the dedication of staff persons. And let me just share from a personal privilege, Mr. Dyer, if I can, I know my time is gone. From a personal privilege. Improvement journey in a school like Robert Harvey, Turner, and Alice Coachman is hard work. It's relentless. It's relentless. You never get to a place where you think you got it all together.
Amen.
It's another cohort of kids coming in. The great things happen to your good staff persons. They get promoted, or they relocate, or think that you have to start over with a brand new teacher. But you have to keep moving forward. So it's very difficult. It's challenging work. But the reward is not in the scores, although it's good.
Well,
The reward is in the lives that we change.
yes.
Again,
All right.
thank you all very much for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Dyer, for this opportunity to share. Are there any questions?
Any questions, board members?
Job well done.
Yes, I say that.
Well,
Yes.
Ms. Gaines Heath.
Oh, Madam Chair, I just really want to celebrate and salute the administrative staff in each of these three schools. I've been there and I know what it's like. And it's a day and night job. It doesn't stop when you clock out at 4. You take it home with you. You take it to heart. And I just want to sincerely thank you for covering our babies, for keeping them in the loop, not letting them fall through the cracks, because we need them. And so we need you to continue the work that you've begun in this district. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if I could write a check, I'd write it right now. Thank you.
Dr. Fennessy.
Madam Chair, to those three schools that Mr. Davis just talked about and the scores, I say kudos to all three schools. You all have done a wonderful job. These are our future, our children. And those who criticize public education, I wish they was in the room today to see this, what you all have done for our children. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Melissa Estrada.
Yeah, we just honor you. We thank you for your sacrifice of your time, of your energy, of the times, away from your own families, pouring into these children. We just honor you and thank you. And just, I mean, what a beacon of light, of hope to our community, that we are doing great things in the Dougherty County school system, that good things are happening, that lives are being changed. Do not discount what this means for these children. I'm talking about their lives have been changed because they have a solid foundation of reading, because they can read. It's amazing. Thank you.
Dr. Han.
I want to thank you, three schools. You almost feel like crying.
Yes.
Because the schools, just going in the schools and seeing the faces of the little ones. I didn't teach elementary, but everybody is happy and in good spirits. And it's all because of you, your staff. And it makes me feel good to know that we're continuing to do this in the Dougherty County school system, bragging about you because you are awesome. And I commend you and your staff for doing such a wonderful job, and our little ones. Thank you so much.
Ms. Wes Hutley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm almost speechless
You.
for knowing what we will be able to someday do, to have people understand the road we walk and what it is we are working with and for. Most importantly, working for, to ensure that every child enjoys the possibility of opportunity to do good work and do it thank you so much for what you've invested in our children so far, and therefore yourselves, because you're working to improve the world around you, one child at a time, and we can do it. Thank you.
And just for my sentiments exactly, we understand the challenges that you have on a daily basis. We take who we have in our school system. We're public education. So we understand, and we really and truly are in there. Everybody's in here is just crying. Just note that your information that we just shared is actually at the Capitol also. It's under the gold dome to show that what you do every day, and please let your staff know, what they do every day matters. Not only in Dougherty County, but we're going to change the faces of the world. So we appreciate what you do every single day, and we're going to continue to provide whatever resources you need to make our children, as Ms. Hutley just said, one child at a time. So thank you. I don't want to steal Mr. Dyer. He's still trying to wipe his eyes right now. But I'm sure you're going to acknowledge those marvelous administrators in that building.
We call, remind me to call facilities. There's a leak. And it fell right here. And so,
Take your time. And he shared this in Louisville last week, so we were sharing this all over the whole state of Georgia, Colorado, Ohio. Everybody in the United States know what y'all are doing in Albany.
This is what it's about.
Yes.
And it's a race.
Yes.
But see, this race doesn't have a finish line. Mm-hmm. You just keep running.
Yes, yes.
It's a relay, and when you get tired of running, you pass the baton to someone else, and they run as fast as they can. And Mr. Davis said it. We went over this stuff. I don't know how many times, Mr. Davis. First time I guess seeing it here, I guess we gotta get that roof fixed. Yeah, gotta get that fixed. But not come without some hard work, criticism, and some conversations of talking off of the ledge. Cause it's not easy. The criticism is nonstop. The thanks are few and far between. And I made a commitment to myself that I think I do a good job of letting them know how much I appreciate them one-on-one. But the world needs to know the job they're doing, and so we're going to see more of this. And I couldn't think of 3 better examples to start this recognition with than Dr. Riggins at Robert Harvey, Dr. Mathis at Alice Coachman, and Mr. Grace at the Premier Turner Elementary School. And what we're going to do, because I keep talking that thing it start leaking again. You know our corn of excellence, and I'm still in Albany State's motto: excellence is the standard, and we shoot for nothing less than excellence. Victory or success can come in an instant. You can hit a lucky shot, make a lucky catch, and win. But excellence is sustained over time. And Mr. Davis showed you a 4-year history of performance of what some would consider some of the toughest schools, some of the toughest environments. And they don't come to work and complain. They don't say our students don't have this at home, our parents can't help them with this. They know what they face. They face it with pride and with leadership, and leadership matters. So our corn: rigor, relevance, relationships, and resilience. That resilience is key. And we're building a better community one student at a time. That's the front of our corn. The back of our corn shows things that we focus on. The graduation cap focuses on academics, and graduation, that's what we want to get to, graduation. Then the quadrant next to that shows a basketball and musical symbols and notes. I'm sorry, not symbols, notes, and theater mask, because we celebrate extracurricular activities. As you go around, you'll see those tools, because we focus on the workforce development as well. Every student is not going to college. Every student doesn't want to go to college. Whatever your pathway, we want to make sure you're prepared when you leave Dougherty County School System. And then the final quadrant, the heart inside caring hands. We have to make sure we care for our students, care for our employees, care for everyone involved with the Dougherty County School System, because they don't know how much, they don't care how much you know, they know how much you care. And I think that the efforts that you see, or the results that you see rather, and of course, all of those efforts, not just academics, but if you go to those schools and you walk through with those principals, you'll see students coming up to them, hugging them, telling them what they did, and trying to make them proud, because they know that those principals care about them, and they want to do their best to make their principals proud of them. And so, and as much as I say, everything rises and falls on leadership. The teachers had a lot to do with those scores. The parents had a lot to do with those scores, but the students made them because they know that they're first prepared, and they know that the people who are trying to prepare them care about them, and they want to do everything they can to make them proud. So I'm going to say that. I went through this a couple of times in my head. It didn't come out like this, and but make sure we get that roof leak fixed. Mr. Davis, Dr. Finley, make sure you all them. But I'm going to ask the principals to come up. We're going to award them with these coins of excellence, and.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Ms. Rickman, I'm ready to get back over there to a cookout.
Yes.
Mr. Fred, you can get in the middle of that room and take a picture. You can get in the middle.
Yeah.
Dr. Blight. Thank you.
All right.
Now, Mr. Dyer, I'm not gonna put my board member on the hand, but can we get a copy of the PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
That we can put it in a stamped envelope and send it to several people in the community?
Yeah, we can do something like that. Yes, ma'am.
Madam
Go on a little
May I-
further. Oh,
Madam Chair, may I say one more thing? When these schools were identified all those years ago, we were faced with a choice. And it started like with an attitude, a choice of what attitude that y'all were gonna have. And I think it's just, I'm sitting here just thinking, the verse that just keeps coming to mind is, what the enemy wanted to use for evil, the Lord used for good. And I think it's such a powerful example of what leadership can do and what attitude can do, and what, when given an opportunity,
Yes.
when really given like a death sentence, you can look at it as an opportunity. And this is just like beauty from ashes, and I love it.
Yes.
And I'm just, it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, we top of those bones, Ms. Headley,
bones,
back in July 2017, and I think they're coming together. We see them coming together. Yes, ma'am. All right. Next, I mentioned the last board meeting that our human resource office, the department, the Dougherty County School System became the first registered apprenticeship program through the U.S. Department of Labor, focused on K through 12 educators, first in the state. And so our human resource division certainly led the way for that. And then once we open the door for them to come through, we have to make sure that they're prepared, because some of them come from outside the traditional pathway. Even those that come inside through the traditional pathway still need support. And so we talked about before that we can relax our criteria as a charter system to reduce barriers to entry. But if we don't provide them with the right support, then they'll just come through the front door and leave out the back door. Because at the time, in the state, we had a significant percentage of over 40% of our teachers were leaving within the first 5 years of entering the profession. And so we were very intentional about trying to provide a meaningful teacher mentoring and induction program. And Ms. Jill Addison, where's Ms. Gibson? Oh, Ms. Gibson. They have spearheaded that. And as I mentioned at the last meeting, the Dougherty County School System is now the 6th certified teacher induction program as recognized by the Georgia Department of Education. And with 7 components, roles and responsibilities, leadership and organizational structures, mentoring, orientation, ongoing performance assessment, professional learning, and program evaluation. And so I want to thank Ms. Addison, our Chief Human Resources Officer, and Ms. Gibson, Nayonda Gibson, who's our professional learning coordinator, for the work they've done in leading this effort, and have 2 coins for them.
Trying to get behind you. Thank you.
People are not your organization's greatest asset. The right people are.
All right.
And the right people perform at high levels, which is evident by our principals. But they don't get there without proper mentoring and induction and training.
Amen.
But before you can even do that, you have to find them. And I mentioned for the last several meetings about our career fair and job expo that was held on that was scheduled for March 14th. We did hold it, and the feedback we got was tremendous. We had 283 registered attendees, which is one of the largest we've had in the last several years, ranging from high school diplomas to advanced degrees, looking at teaching positions, classroom support positions, to operational support positions. And some of the feedback that we received, a huge kudos, Ms. Addison and her Human Resources team for a very successful DCSS Job Fair 2026. This event was very well planned, organized, and attended, the best one I've attended in my 40 years in DCSS. Ms. Addison, I salute you and your team for a job well done. Great event. Thank you, Ms. Addison, and the HR department for planning and coordinating an awesome career fair. And when I called Ms. Addison to tell her congratulations, I was not able to be there. I had to be out of town representing the school system in another area. But I saw the text messages, I saw the emails, and I called to congratulate her, and she said, I thank you for that. She said, but that was not me. She said, I was so busy. She said, you know what I did? I said, Angel, Miss Murphy, she said, you handle the job fair. It's your baby. And handle it, she did. And so Miss Angel Murphy, come get your coin.
The leak. It's the leak. We'll fix it next week.
It's all right.
That's all right.
I need to say something to you.
So we'll get a copy from your friend.
All right. Yeah, we need Mr. Dyer,
Yes, sir.
I do believe that young lady is a product of the Dougherty County school system.
Yes, she is. She is. She is. I think Miss Gibson is as well.
Oh, okay, I didn't know Ms. Gibson, but hey.
Mr. Grace is as well.
All right, that's awesome, that's awesome. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm
right.
so excited. Okay.
So, all right. So, we got that. Whew, okay. I think.
Leaking over me too.
All right. That's all I have right now, Madam Chair. And we'll have an update a little later. So, Mr. Fields, you can have the.
Mr. Dyer, would you like your staff to be excused, or they want?
Well, we always say this. I know you all want to stay for this meeting and just see everything we do. But we'll, but if you need to go, I know your supervisor is a little unreasonable, and so he may want you to go back to work. But if you do need to go back to work, we understand because you have babies you have to deal with and people we have to hire. And so anything if you think you need to depart to go take care of your business, feel free to do so. We won't take it. Personally, in fact, we just wanted you to come so we could recognize you, and we've done that. So thank you very much.
Once again, guys, I'm gonna take this from Mr. Chun. Job well done. Coach Chun, I'm sorry. Board members, again, thank you. If this leak keep coming out, I'm gonna have to move.
We got one more presentation.
You got what? Oh, I'm excited.
All right.
Okay, that was.
Next, we have a presentation, a strategic plan overview by Dr. Michael Finley.
Before you even get started, this looks so good. Thank you. It does. Good. We've all looked through it like, wow, this is awesome. So
Yeah.
we waiting on the information, but the presentation is always. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think it's a better in there. It's fair, try to use it.
Testing.
There you go.
All right. Board of Education, Superintendent.
Mr. Dyer, district and school leadership, teachers, community, stakeholders, students, who've been in school, if they're watching, hello. In full transparency, as you get batteries, I did inform Mr. Dyer, I said if I had to spend time with Mr. Davis, I'd rather go first. You don't took the batteries out.
All right.
Next time you go first.
That a running joke. Anytime you ask me David how much time you think you're gonna need, he said, about 10 minutes. And it's usually a little longer than 10 minutes. Okay, a lot longer than 10 minutes. So when I asked him yesterday, I said, how much time are you gonna need? He said, about 10 minutes. And Phyllis said, I said, so we have about 25 total. Phyllis said, he's gonna take all that 25. I need to go first. So to Mr. Davis' defense, it was about 10 minutes. It may be a little low, but not a lot lower than 10 minutes. So I think that's it. Go ahead. And yeah. You use your teacher voice. All right.
We'll go ahead and get started. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Oh, yeah.
And I take a little bit further, but you can plan, but if you don't monitor, you are going to fail. That's how I feel about it. So today, we're going to do an overview of the draft version of the Future Ready Strategic Plan. So we have it up on the screen here. Front page, we always start with our students, beautiful pictures representing the academics, the arts, and athletics.
All right. You can thank. All right. So on our First page, table of contents. At the bottom of that page, you'll see, again, future ready. That's our theme for the strategic plan. Preparing students, empowering educators, and partnering with families. Our promise, DCSS, is future ready, committed to preparing every student for success today, tomorrow, and beyond. The next page, you see yourselves, our amazing board of education. You see more pictures of our students, and you see communications from our superintendent, which sets the context for this particular strategic plan. On page 3 is our DCSS district profile, which has the numbers and information to tell you more about our school district. And to the right, you have the members of our steering committee. I want to take a moment and stop on the page with the steering committee. I just want to say thank you to everybody who participated in this process. We had a steering committee that was very diverse, had board members, had school leadership, district leadership, across the board to inform the process and to create the process. Also, I want to give a thank you to Amber Herring. So the presentation the document that you're looking at, and other documents you'll see later, we provided her with the vision, the idea per Mr. Dyer, and she did all of the organizing and the creating of the document. So the work for the strategic plan was completed with DCSS staff. So I'm very proud of that, and I always want to lift our staff every time we have an opportunity to do so. Go to the next page, Mr. Fields. This page speaks to our process. Again, we started with creating a steering committee. We had convenient meetings. During those convenient meetings, we looked at our vision, we looked at our mission, our goals, our priority areas. And from that, we wanted to determine if we needed to create a brand new strategic plan, or did we need to revise the way forward, which is the previous strategic plan. From there, we had stakeholder focus groups where we brought in a third party to have dialogue with focus groups within our district and our community to ask questions around what are we doing well, are our priorities still valid, our mission and vision statement are still valid today. We took that information from the stakeholder groups, and we took the information from our steering committee, and we confirmed that our priority areas are still valid, mission statement and vision statement are still valid. So this strategic plan here, we had tweaks, but majority of our priority areas are still the same because of the feedback that we received from the steering committee and our stakeholder focus groups. We had one priority area, which was student wellness, which is slightly different from the last strategic plan. And I'll speak more to that later. The next page speaks to who we are. That's our vision, our mission, and our core beliefs. The core beliefs, we had 4 core beliefs in our BAB policies. And also, so within our steering committee and our focus groups, we also talked about core beliefs. We did end up adding 3 additional core beliefs. So we had a core belief for safe and supportive schools, high expectations, effectiveness, and we had one for collective responsibility, but it was connected to family and community engagement. We added core beliefs for evidence-driven, which speaks to continuous improvement, and evidence-based decision-making are essential to improving student outcomes. These are things that we believe. In addition to that, life beyond graduation. We believe meaningful, engaging, and relevant learning prepares students for success beyond graduation. And we added integrity and stewardship. And integrity, transparency, and responsible stewardship and are fundamental to serving students, families, and the community. So those are the 3 core beliefs we added to the 4 that we had already in our BAB policies. So with that, we will, we're bringing the new core beliefs before you for consideration for adoption, not only for the strategic plan, but also in our BAB policies. And I can provide that documentation at the next meeting. Our district strengths on page 7. We have a lot of district strengths, as you can see from before I got up here. I'm full of the excitement and the recognition that that our staff just received. I think it's wonderful. Below that is a theory of action. And our theory of action is important because we're saying that we believe certain things, then there will be an outcome. So within our theory of action, what we're saying is, if we provide students with a strong foundation in early literacy, if we foster a culture of high expectations based on rigorous and relevant academic experiences for all students, if we ensure all students feel supported, if we identify, attract, support, and develop and retain quality staff throughout their careers at DCSS, and if we devote timely and purposeful engagement with parents, families, and community stakeholders, then we will empower each and every student to be prepared to succeed in life. And that drives us right into our priority areas and our strategic initiatives on page 8. So this is at a glance look at our priority areas. We have 5 priority areas. The first one is early literacy at the top. Then we have academic rigor and relevance, number 2. Number 3 is student wellness. Number 4 is investment in human capital. Number 5 is family and community engagement. Below each priority area are strategic initiatives. So the strategic initiatives, we're saying if we do these things at a high level, then we will meet our goals for the priority area. And I'm going to talk about the goals on the pages moving forward. But this is at a glance look at what the priority is and what the aligned strategies are. If we do these things well with each priority area, we're going to meet and surpass our goals. All right? So going to page 9. So the next page has a page for each priority area. And on each page, on page 9, is early literacy, our first priority area. At the top, you see our measurable goals. So our measurable goals, for example, for early literacy, increase the percentage of students entering 3rd grade who are reading at or above grade level. And then we have 2 more goals below that. And the strategic initiatives, which I mentioned on the page before, fall up under that. So you can see what the priority area is, you can see what the goal is, and also you can see what our strategies are to meet those goals. So the goal was to try to provide a document where you can see a through line. So it's clear, hopefully, and if it's not, please let us know. So it's clear, you can see what the goal, our priority, our goal, how do we plan to meet our goals. Strategic initiatives for early literacy, I won't go through all of them, but it is a focus on science of reading, focus on implementing our high quality materials, HMH, and also a focus on building capacity with our students, with our teachers and staff. Priority area 2 is academic rigor and relevance for all students. Again, it's the same setup. Priority area at the top, measurable goals in the middle, and our strategic initiatives are at the bottom. So here, just overview for strategic initiatives, focusing on each tier of instruction, strengthening tier 1 instruction, and also strengthening tier 2, tier 3. In addition to that, expanding post-secondary access for dual enrollment, career pathways, and workforce readiness opportunities. And I know one Mr. Dyer has lifted before, establishing the Office of Student Career Services. So we move to strategic priority 3, which is student wellness. Same setup. Strategic initiative overview for this particular area, focusing on social and emotional supports for our students, expanding that, cultivating a positive school culture and climate, of course, decreasing chronic absenteeism to ensure that our students are making it to school, increasing mentoring opportunities. Also, an action item in this area is focused on providing professional learning for trauma-informed practices for our staff. Strategic priority 4, which is investment in human capital. Strategic initiatives for this, our goals, of course, are at the top. Strategic initiatives for this area is retain top talent, enhance employee experience. That's our perks, EAP program, our recognition programs, as you just witnessed a moment ago. Expand professional growth and leadership development. One action I'll lift out of this area is creating a classified leadership development program. I like that, amongst other things, and strengthen recruitment and talent acquisition strategies. So one of the actions in this area is strengthening our Grow Your Own programs that we have in our district. Strategic priority 5, family and community engagement, measurable goals at the top. Overview of strategic initiatives, enhance the use of effective communication, strengthen collaborative community partnerships, empower families to support student success. Some actions in this particular priority, our VILA program, our Level Up program, and Parent University. Those are some big initiatives that's going to be happening within this particular priority area. And my last page is a cycle of continuous improvement. So we can create beautiful document with beautiful pictures, but if we don't have a monitoring process, if we don't have a data process, if we don't stop and reflect to see what we need to continue, what we need to adjust, or what we need to stop and start, then we would be missing the ocean. So that's why this page is here, because it's extremely important that we have a process in place. And we do have a process within our district in place around how we're monitoring the strategic plan. We have quarterly updates that we, our priority owners, present their updates around each priority area. Each priority has an owner. So they have an owner for each priority area. Early literacy has an owner for that priority area. And each strategic initiative has an owner as well. And that information is funneled up and presented out in front of our cabinet, where Mr. Dyer, as always, provides updates related to the strategic plan. I just want to take 2 more seconds. Mr. Fields, if you can pull up the one-pager about this presentation. So there are 2 more documents in your folder. So you can go out of that. It's in the email. It's in the email I sent. So the first document that you have is, it looks like this.
Right.
And this is a strategy map. So if Mr. Dyer or you were out and you were engaging in dialogue about our school district, and you wanted to quickly show anybody, what our priorities are, our vision, our mission, in addition to that, what our strategies are. It's a one-pager. It's a one-pager. We can talk anywhere. It's a one-pager. Instead of sharing, and it's a link to go to our website to see the whole plan. But we want to be efficient when we're in those moments, so we don't miss the moment. So we want to make sure that we have something that we can utilize that tells who we are, but not only who we are, what we're doing. What's the strategy? And the last document is, Spitz, I know you're getting tired of me. This is the last document. So the last document looks like this. So we are a school district with 21 schools, not 21 schools separately. Your strategic plan, which has your vision, your mission, your goals, your strategies, is the fabric. It holds us all together. Even if Magnet may have a different focus here, a different focus there, this school may have, this holds us all together. Fabric, core beliefs, fabric. So this document is a poster that we want to create to go with each school in a certain place. So when you walk in, we're one district, 21 schools. Vision, mission, core beliefs. The last thing I would say, just thank you for providing the opportunity to be a part of facilitating the process. And I want to say thank you to my priority owners. They probably don't want to speak to me too much because I'm bothering them a lot. But it's all in the love of students, you know. And Mr. Dyer, thank you for providing the opportunity just to be a part of the process. With that being said, that's the conclusion of my presentation.
Madam Chair,
Dr. Fennessy.
I didn't want to be the first, Dr. Finley, to congratulate you on this very, very professional, looks good. I mean, it just draws my attention to it. And I love that you have the students involved, you got the superintendent involved, and you got diagrams and charts and pictures. Thank you so much. Well done.
Ms. Gang.
Madam Chair, Dr. Finley, thank you. As a former educator in this district for 25 years, my faith has been renewed. I'm ready to go forth in supporting all that needs to happen in order to bring this to fruition, and I know it's going to come to pass because I see the passion in which you've made your presentation. And I would just like to see this go a step further. If we could, I don't know what the plan is for marketing, but I see this on maybe a postcard or something that we can put out
You read my notes over here.
in our business district, in the hands of our parents, even if they don't understand it all. You know, they'll have an idea of what our focus is and how we plan to make it happen, and to let them know that it's going to take them and to get this done. And I'm overwhelmed right now. I am impressed, and thank you. It's very clear what it is the expectations are. And I applaud you and the staff, every member who had a part in putting this together. And anything worth having is worth working for. So you put the time in now, and you can sit back later and see the results of your labor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Huntley?
Yeah.
Awesome job.
You know, I'm like, 30 years, Dougherty County School System now, you have made a great impact, you and your staff. Outstanding, and we're looking forward to doing greater things. Thank you so much for
Everything that you've done for the system. Thank you so much.
I mean, job well done. Like, this is amazing. I mean, it's so simple, it's so straightforward, it covers everything, it gives us something to go back to as a board to say, you know, hey, are we doing these things? Are we on target? And it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's great to look at, and it checks all the boxes. I mean, really outstanding.
I just want to say,
I'm going to say just one thing
Yes, ma'am.
to this expert here. You placed in our hand some good lessons that we studied along the way with you. It helped to prepare us, to better prepare us. And it makes me feel like standing on the rooftop and presenting it to the public. And I could do it based on what you've shared with us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent.
first of all, thank you, Dr. Finley, for your leadership in this work. And he's humble, and he does give a lot of credit to other people, and they do a lot of the work. But he leads the work, and everything rises and falls on leadership. And you've seen an example, multiple examples of the right people in the right places doing the right work, and the results we can get as a result of that. So I thank you for that, sir. And one thing he did not mention that he was going to save, I'm going to go ahead and steal his thunder. You'll see as we progress through the next several years, Dr. Finley is working on a public-facing dashboard. So not only will we give updates to the district, we'll have updates available to the public on how we're meeting our goals, how we're progressing toward meeting our goals. And so we'll unveil that probably within the next several months. He's evaluating different companies now to help us provide that on our website, and we'll have that unveiling probably within the next few months. So thank you for that, Dr. Finley. Again, thank you, board, for empowering us to do this work and making a difference in the lives of the students that we've been called to serve. That's all I have.
Okay, Superintendent, do you have any more presentations?
No, ma'am, that's it.
Thank you, board. I just didn't want to jump in front of it. We will review the agenda item give each board member opportunity to ask any questions and make comments. Mr. Superintendent, will we need an executive session?
Yes, ma'am, to discuss personnel, safety, and student matters.
Please make a note of that. Board members, do you have any questions or comments about the agenda for today? Okay, we'll go over the agenda. Agenda item 1, minutes of the regular board meeting held on March 9th. Any questions?
No.
Okay, do we have any committee reports? I didn't go all the way down. I asked them if they had any questions. Did you need me to go each one, board members? Like we normally do? Cause y'all looking.
We do have one I want to discuss if we don't go through each
I
one.
wasn't going on each one, but if you have one in particular you want to share.
In particular, I would like to discuss item 7. We discussed that in a previous board meeting, and that's the one, Madam Chair, regarding the one-time employee salary supplements. As part of the amended fiscal year 26 budget, the Dougherty recommended issuance of a $2,000 supplement to all state employees and select public school employees, including teachers, custodial staff, school nutrition employees, and bus drivers. In the past, the Dougherty County School System, when that's happened, we've also extended that to other employees not on the list to ensure that they all feel appreciated because we work together to make good things happen for the students that we've been called to serve. Not only are we talking about full-time employees, but we also talking about our part-time employees at a prorated level, our substitutes who work so many days. Now, if you work as a sub 2 days, you don't get the supplement. But I think that the cutoff is 30 days. You get half of it. 60 days or more, you get all of it. And so, with that being said, what we're recommending is that we extend that to our employees again as we have in the past. The total cost is about $4.5 million, about $3 million, slightly less than $3 million coming from the state, 1.5 coming from our general fund, and slightly less than $100,000 coming from right from the start for our pre-K employees. And if the board approves that, then Ms. Hatcher has committed that her folks can get this done, processed by tomorrow, so that our employees will have it available for them at the beginning of spring break.
Oh, that will be a great sight.
It will be, Mr. Superintendent, because I've been asked several times, are we gonna get it before we go on spring break? I don't know, but I will ask the superintendent. Thank you.
And I do apologize. I didn't go item by item, board members, because I know normally you'll call me if you got questions, and I'll give it to the superintendent. Mr. Superintendent, just for committee report, any committee report? And I know we gotta come out of this meeting and start on our other meeting, but we'll get a few second
Well,
break.
have a detailed update too, but we can do that as part of the regular
As part of regular
meeting.
meeting.
We want to.
Just to let everybody know, 3 of us went to COSBA. I do have a written report from the programs that I did. I will share it with you. But just in case anybody else, so I did do a detailed report for that. Stanley Floyd track meet is on Saturday.
Announcements.
Okay, that's why I'm doing my committee report for Saturday. So what we will do is, can we adjourn out of this meeting to give us a break? Then we'll come back in and start the meeting and allow Mr. Superintendent to do his update.
You gonna do the executive session in between?
Do we require actions?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can we take about a 5-minute break, come back in, do executive session? So we're gonna vote to go in executive session.
Why don't we vote?
Do that now.
Yeah, that's what I say, go to the vote to go do executive session.
I make a motion to go into executive session for personnel
Student matters.
Student matters.
And safety.
and safety.
Second motion.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So we're in executive session.
Take a break.
thank you for coming to the Dougherty County School System mid-month meeting. Will you please silence your phone, stand for a moment of silence, and the president pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Do we have any presentation?
No, ma'am, no more presentations.
Okay. We will be considering the board minute, approval of the board agenda with the adding of the addendum for 2A.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Can I get a motion for approval of the minutes for the board meeting held on March 9th, 2026?
Madam Chair, I move the approval of the minutes for that date.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Consideration of recommendation for employment of personnel, including addendum 2A. I keep forgetting about that. Thank you. We just said that. Can I get a consent agenda to approve 2, including the 2A addendum, all the way to 8?
So moved.
I second.
All in favor? All opposed? Consent agenda. Mr. Superintendent, are you ready for your report?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Terrence? Just one. Thank you, sir. Mr. Fields?
All right, Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent's report for March 26, 2026. There's a lot of information here. I'm going to provide an expedited version. If I go too fast, please feel free to slow me down, and I'll go over in as much detail as you need me to. Some of this is repeated, but some of this is new, and I'll take my time on the new items. Of course, thanks again to this board for the exemplary work that you do. We certainly appreciate it. And our vision, as you know, is that we're a destination school system that, in collaboration with families and community partners, provides quality educational and social development experiences that empower its graduates to be successful and impactful contributors to society. And our mission is to meet the academic and non-academic needs of our students with rigorous and relevant educational experiences that equip them to succeed in life. Topics for discussion are strategic plan overview, which Dr. Finley has done, so we can skip through that. Legislative update, and then a few celebrations and announcements. Of course, crossover date was March 6th. The significance of crossover day is if a legislation has not been approved in one house or passed in one house and going to the other house by March 6th, then it will not be considered. Of course, there are some legislative loopholes that can be used to add things on to other bills, but in its purest form, if legislation has not been passed in one house, in one chamber rather, it cannot go to the other chamber after March 6th. So in essence, it can no longer be considered for that legislative session. And sine die, which is the last day of the session, is scheduled for April 2nd. Of course, you know our priorities is increase early learning opportunities, but primarily through expanding pre-K, add a poverty weight to QBE. Also, supplement state health benefit plan costs. As you know, our costs have increased from about $11,000 as an employer portion of those premiums to over $24,000 per employee per year. Now, teacher pipeline, return to work, teacher apprentices, and also we had in our priorities to expand the teacher pay scale. The teacher pay scale stops at step 21. So anything after that, teachers don't get raises. Right. And so we asked for that as well. Updates, amended budget, as we just discussed, the 2000 one-time pay supplement for employees. And then we'll go over the rest. Some of we've already talked about, some we have not. So I'll breeze through the ones we've talked about, give you a few updates, and then and I spend a little more time on the ones that we have not talked about very much. The House Resolution 1114, House Bill 1116, of course, that provides homestead property exemptions. This has seen several forms since we first began discussing these. What it does create a new local homestead option sales tax. It provides for the elimination, conversion or elimination of several existing local sales taxes, and it limits property growth revenue without voter approval. The 1 cent sales tax would be used. The revenue from that would be used to reduce, if not eliminate, homestead property taxes for schools, cities, and counties. And these are the local sales taxes that could be impacted if this passes. Again, if with the existing millage rate, if we raise more than 3%, increase our revenue more than 3%, or the annual inflation rate as captured by CPI, then the General Assembly would have to approve the increase through a local act, or our local voters must approve through a referendum. And it would allow us to increase our reserve limit from 15% to 20% of annual expenditures. One thing here is it would have required a constitutional amendment in its original form, and that did not have enough votes to pass. It requires 2/3 votes versus a simple majority vote in the House and the Senate. So it was revised to it wouldn't require a constitutional amendment, but it was going to call for a non-binding statewide referendum in the November election. Again, it would be advisory only, but the question would read, should Georgia provide complete property tax relief for homeowners by exempting homestead properties from property tax levied by cities, counties, counties, municipalities, and school systems? You know, they have a way of wording these things that they get answers that they want, and that's understandable. I think no one would be opposed to that. The question is, what comes along with it? And of course, I was able to, along with my chair, testify to the House Ways and Means Committee. I think it was early this month, was it late last month? I can't remember now. They kind of run together. And I discussed in this meeting to this board some of the concerns that we had with that. One, that they had so many taxes already, 1 cent sales taxes, that we will be above our 9 cent constitutional cap. And so, you know, I never try to shoot down a recommendation or a solution without bringing an alternate solution. And so one that we discussed, and I don't know how much traction it's getting right now, it's just one challenge that we have is that local sales tax is volatile. And right now we get property tax, and we get it one time a year. We know how much it is. We know how we can plan for it. If you get money every month and we go into an economic downturn and your sales tax collections declines sharply 1 month, then you could have issues. If you don't have a sufficient reserve, you have issues meeting your obligations each month. And we were back to the situation where Reverend Bush described as having to get tax anticipation notes to stabilize our finances in terms of our cash flow. So what was offered as an alternative is to take that additional penny that we have available and to just have 1 cent sales tax collected by county based on the sales that are in that county, and the revenue from that is allocated to the cities in that county, the county government itself, and the school system based on the amount of homestead property tax revenue they collect every year. And in Dougherty County's case, for example, we between the cities, property tax, assessment, the county's property tax assessment, and the school system's property tax assessment, we collect about $20.9 million a year in homestead property taxes. 1 penny sales tax generates about $20,500,000. So if that funding was distributed to each of these entities, we could almost eliminate homestead property taxes because we have a strong rental population. We have a lot of commercial development, non-homestead properties. In some smaller bedroom communities where they focus on residential development versus multifamily dwellings and versus commercial development, like Harris County, north of Columbus, they don't have enough sales tax revenue to completely offset their homestead property taxes, but it will be at least 25 to 30%. So that's still a significant reduction in homestead property taxes. So if the goal of the legislature is to provide homestead property tax relief, I think that simple approach that I just described would provide that relief, significant relief across the state, and in some cases eliminate homestead property taxes altogether. And if a community wanted to increase the amount of the offset to homestead property, they could then make a decision to recruit more commercial business or industry to their area, and if they choose not to, then they're choosing to pay more in homestead relief or to get less taken off of their homestead property tax. The caveat that we've added, I added to this lately, is that I would ask that to avoid the ebbs and flows or the impact of the ebbs and flows of monthly collections is to collect for a year. The first year you collect, and then at a certain point, we'll know how much we'll have available for the next. We can't use it till the next school year. So if we collect it out of the homestead property tax that we get out of that $20 million, about $7.8 million comes to the Dougherty County school system. And if we collected at least $7.8 million, we could eliminate all of the property tax. But we will have that money in the bank already. So it won't be like we're collecting it every month, and if we project we're going to get this much based on the past results, and then we have an economic downturn and we end up getting less, then we won't have to make drastic adjustments during the year. We'll know because we would have collected the revenue the year in advance, and we would do that every year. So if tax collections go down one year because of an economic downturn, and we only generate $6 million in sales tax, then we will reduce our homestead property taxes by 3/4. And it'll be, but we would advise our homestead property owners well in advance, so they would know. But it will still be significantly less than that 100% that they're paying right now. And so I don't know if the legislature is going to take that up. I think I try to keep things simple.
Yeah.
I keep things simple. That's a lot less complicated than a constitutional amendment, and it also addresses one of our primary concerns, the volatility of monthly sales tax collections, because we will collect the money in advance, and we'll know how much is available for the next fiscal year prior to that year kicking off. So we're going to keep trying to push that, and we'll see. I think, and that would address also our senior tax relief. Right. And the reason I've held off on moving forward with a plan for senior tax relief is because if the restrictions that are being proposed now are imposed, it will be unsustainable to provide the senior tax relief that we're looking at, because it would probably cost us about $2 million a year in addition to what this will cost us. So I want to make sure that when I propose something to this board, that it is sustainable, and the way it was presented. It's being presented, and we've seen probably about 5 or 6 versions of this. Then it's hard to tell which one is going to come out, if any, come out into law. So we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll keep trying to work with our legislative partners on trying to make this bill better. House Bill 1193, that's the Georgia Early Literacy Act of 2026. We talked about it before, but these are some of the new requirements that will for boards and superintendents for their kindergarten, which we already have, a new first day of school readiness process for earlier intervention, new gatekeeping before first grade, and new retention risk after first grade. If students are not need to be ready for first grade, then they could be not allowed to go to first grade. And I'll show some data later that brings me a lot of concern regarding that provision. Local boards must update placement and promotion policies to adhere to the things I just mentioned by July 26th. Every public school and school district must adopt unified literacy plans by January 27th. Unified literacy plans become a condition of flexibility or charter. So if you don't have a unified plan, then you won't get your charters renewed or your strategic waiver flexibility renewed. District must use an approved universal screener. We already have that. Annual certification of K-3 reading materials. Local boards must approve high quality instructional material for K-3, which you've already done, and we must provide instruction support for K-3 teachers. And it provides for partially for school-based and regional literacy coach allotments. And I say that because initially it was literacy coach for all 1,313 literacy coach positions based on schools that have grades K-3 in them. And then it was if you have fewer than 500 students, you only get a half a FTE. More than 500, you get a full FTE. Then it was if you have fewer than 200, you get a half a FTE. More than 200, you get a full FTE. And then here recently, as late as yesterday morning, during the 7:30 meeting, this bill got moved from the Senate Education and Youth Committee to the Senate Appropriations Committee. As late as yesterday, is now being proposed that we'll provide funding for a literacy coach at the beginning level for a teacher, which most literacy coaches will command much more than that. And the funding would come out of QBE and with the Georgia Department of Education. We removed from there and will now be responsible, will be in GOSA, a GOSA grant, GOSA funding to the schools. Again, and I don't know what it's gonna look like by the time we end the day, because this day is another committee day, and I'm sure some more work can be done on it. So that's where we are with the legislation. I had the opportunity to testify to the committee about this bill as well. And I want to say this, Senator, I submitted the information to Senator Freddie Powell Sims, and of course with her having to leave for family issues, I knew she would not be there. So I pinch hit for her. I probably did a poor job of pinch hitting, but I did the best I could. But what we did provide, and I'll give you a snapshot of what we presented to the committee. We thank them for their focus on literacy and the work and build upon the work that they've already started. But we did provide research and data from the Governor's Office of Student Achievement that underscores the importance of addressing poverty. And out of all the things I mentioned was new to the bill, poverty was not included. A wait for poverty funding was not included. As you know, we advocated for a poverty weight in QBE as a whole for every student in poverty. And so when that bill did not make crossover day, we now looking at focusing on adding a poverty weight to support literacy. And the Governor's Office of Student Achievement website states that research indicates student poverty is closely linked to student achievement. And we also provided this scatter plot that is also available on the GOSA website. It's direct certification and third grade ELA proficiency. Direct certification, for those that don't know, students who are called direct certs, they're students, they come from families that get government assistance. And the direct cert comes as a part of the free and reduced lunch program. If you're a direct cert, you don't have to fill out an application, because if you get government assistance, they already know you qualify. Dougherty County school system, our direct cert percentage is so high. Over 2/3 of our students come from families who receive government assistance. So we participate in what they call the community eligibility provision, which means all of our students get to eat free without having to fill out an application. But that scatter plot, that's what the direct cert means. That scatter plot shows you on the left at the bottom, you'll see, I think that's the x-axis, right? Researchers in the room, was that the y? You'll see on the left end, those are low percentage, schools with low percentages of direct certs. And on the right end, you see the 100, you'll see that's the higher percentage of direct search. And then you look at the vertical axis, you'll see the low at the bottom represents low achievement in ELA proficiency or low ELA proficiency, and up top is high ELA proficiency by third grade. And you can see that the higher your direct search percentage is, the lower your performance is. There's a concentration of blue dots. It looks like there's a solid, one solid blue dot in some places. That shows you that the higher your direct search percentage, or the higher the percentage of students in poverty, the lower their ELA proficiency is. Okay, and that's on the Governor's Office of Student Achievement website. But yet the bill does not cover a weight for poverty to support those students. And then similarly, the GOSA's website highlights the profound impact that poverty can have on literacy development. And it notes that schools with the highest poverty levels have historically demonstrated both literacy and ELA proficiency rates 20%, below 20%, while schools with lower poverty rates have achieved rates exceeding 60%. And the chart you see there reflects that. The upper line, the blue line, is the ELA proficiency for schools with low direct search, meaning low poverty, with ELA proficiency. And the bottom line, the red line, represents the ELA proficiency for schools with high percentage of direct search. And as you can see, with the proficiency represented in the vertical axis, schools with high percentages of direct search students typically have ELA proficiency and literacy on grade level less than 20%. Whereas with fewer students in poverty, they're approaching 70%. It's a 50 percentage point gap in proficiency. And that's over the course of 8 years. That's not a blip on the radar. That's not a one-year anomaly. That's over the course of 8 years. And that's also presented on the GOSA, the Governor's Office of Student Achievement website. So I presented this information to the committee, along with this information, more anecdotally, that 87%, and you've heard this before, 87% of the students of the schools on the Promise Scholarship eligible list serve student bodies where more than half of the students come from families that get government assistance. Again, that shows you that student achievement is closely linked to poverty in a negative way. And high poverty schools need more resources to support the students. Students in poverty can learn, as evident by the information that we provided earlier today. But they need more wraparound supports. Those wraparound supports cost more. Georgia is one of 6 states in the country that doesn't provide a weight for poverty in its funding formula. The other 5 are Alaska, Florida, Idaho, South Dakota, and West Virginia. Then the story, and I'm going to go through this. Mr. Davis went through this during his presentation. We showed this to the committee. We talked about the fact that we, along with additional funding from grants and community partnerships, we self-funded a 4-year, what's now a 4-year initiative to provide targeted support for 3 very high poverty, historically low achieving elementary schools. And this shows, the chart shows the literacy growth at Alice Coachman, Robert Harvey, and Turner over 4 years. This shows the students reading at above grade level and the increases there over 4 years. Overall content mastery over 4 years. Overall English content mastery over 4 years, and math content mastery over 4 years, showing that the importance of providing additional resources and the results you can get when you provide those resources. We also, and I may have my slides out of order a little bit, but we also presented them with a solution. whereas the bill we were advocating for would provide a 25% weight for every student in poverty. What we proposed for this is that the state, after advocacy work last year, initiated a pilot of $15 million that provides 5% above the base weight for students in poverty. If the school systems they are in have at least 40% of their students in poverty. Again, 5% above base funding. The national average is 22% above base funding. And that was a one-year pilot, suggesting that we could get results in 1 year, then they would see whether or not we need to continue. And that's, but I mentioned to them that the funding has to be sufficient, it has to be sustainable, and it has to be predictable. We can't be guessing every year how much we're going to get, if we're going to get it. And the fact that we use grants to help us do this in the past is good, but those grants are not sustainable. And here lately, they haven't been predictable because a couple of times we wondered whether or not they were going to terminate those grants at the federal, particularly the federal grants. So the information was received by the committee. They thanked me for the information, but the sentiment was that this is not going in, the bill is not going in that direction. They just focus on providing literacy coaches. And of course, I mentioned to them that we have literacy coaches at all of our schools, almost all of our schools at the elementary level, and that these funds would provide for things beyond the literacy coaches, extended learning time, funding for provide hotspots at home for those parents, for those homes that don't have internet. Because when we were in school, we needed paper and pencil, and we still need paper and pencil, but access to the internet is just like paper and pencil was back in the day. So again, the thank you for the information, committed to looking at it, but I don't think it's going to get a lot of traction this year through that way. But had several other people who were in the room, people on the Leadership Council for the state, other senators who were in the room, and then when I was walking around the Capitol, a couple of House members must have heard about it, and they asked for copies of the report that I shared with you all in Louisville. So we did, and when I leave, I got to email it to a few other people who asked for it. So I don't know if it's going to work this year, but we're going to continue to work for it. And if we don't get funding from the state this year, we can't continue to take it out of our reserves because we have a fiduciary responsibility to maintain a healthy fund balance. But we're going to use this data to try to solicit, not to try to solicit support from other sources, including some private foundations. So the work won't stop. That's where we are with that. House Bill 372 and Senate Bill 150, which is I have highlighted because I think that's the bill that's moving forward. Retiree return to work, again, which is one of our priorities. It provides opportunity for retirees to return to work. Yeah, that was I knew I put that slide, and I put it in a slide too late. I apologize for that. But what this bill does is expands the ability for retired teachers to return to work, address the teacher shortage, and focus on high needs areas. It extends House Bill 385, which sunsets this year. But what it does is the current law, House Bill 385, is based on high needs areas determined by the RESA. This bill now is determined by the school system. And so we have greater flexibility. So we identify our high needs areas versus the RESA identifying high needs areas. These are the targeted areas. And if we have, see, for this year, our high needs areas are math, science, and special ed. And next year, because we were able to fill those positions with House Bill 385 or retirees, it may be math, science, and elementary education. If we hired a teacher this year, in special ed to fill this need, and special ed is not on the list as a high needs area next year, we can still keep that special ed teacher in that role. That person is grandfathered in, so we won't lose that flexibility moving forward. So that's an important provision in the bill as well. Yes, ma'am.
Those teachers who retired coming back, how will they be paid according to their years of experience?
They can. It's up to the school system. Some school systems pay based on a salary scale, and some pay less than the salary scale. And the reason some pay less is because of what I have on the screen right now, because they wouldn't, in order to make this work for teacher retirement and teacher retirement not to lose revenue, the teacher retirement has to get paid both the employer and the employee contributions. So what will happen is, because the retirees would not be subject to an increase in their retirement benefits, because they would get their retirement benefits and the pay, full-time pay, the school system would pay the employer portion and the employee portion of the TRS contribution. So what some school systems do is they reduce the pay so that when they pay that additional amount, it will be a break even. And that still benefits the retiree. Again, it provides immediate staffing solutions, access to experienced teachers, supports instructional continuity, and its flexibility in filling hard to fill positions. That's another thing that I put in the wrong slide. I was doing this while we were doing our right. And so, and then this is another one that is a House resolution. It's certainly non-binding, but it does give me the reason for some optimism. It's House Resolution 1582 that was recently approved by the House. It has a House Study Committee on Veteran Teacher Compensation. And what it looks at doing is studying the impact of increasing the steps beyond step 21 on the teacher pay scale, which is one of the things that we advocated for as well. So all in all, I think this legislative session has shown some promise. Two major things that are still pending: the tax relief piece that was not on our legislative priority, but quickly became a priority because of the impact it could have on us, and the poverty rate for QBE doesn't seem that's going to get where we want it to be this year. We are making progress, but some other things that we talked about with the House Bill 372/Senate Bill 150 with return to work. Taking a look at teacher compensation, veteran teacher compensation especially, those things seem to be getting some traction. And so we certainly appreciate those efforts. And advocacy works. Some of it works quicker than other efforts, but the key is, as part of our belief, rigor, relevance, relationships, and resilience. And advocacy focuses on the relationships and the resilience, because you can't give up when you don't get what you need initially. That's all I have, ladies, in terms of my legislative updates. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
If not, we move swiftly to our celebrations and announcements. Of course, we already talked about this. We talked about that. Dougherty High FBLA team, first place state champions at national qualifier for FBLA. And the national qualifiers are Aubrey Jones, Madison Howard, Marcus Heath Jr. I think some of you might know him. Mariah Vance, Miles Brown, and Xavier Rogers. Westover had 4 superior ratings in the large group performance evaluation for their chorale, concert choir. We have the Georgia Council for Social Studies Southwest Regional Fair. We have Best in Class 2 grades 5 through 6. Mr. Mercado from Robert Cross. You have Miss Garvey. I know you're familiar with her. She comes before the board. I think she's in most board meetings. She's in every other board meeting, I think, getting an award. She's also best in class in grades 7 through 8. And then Kira Devon, best in class 4 for grades 9 through 12. And also Miss Devon from Dougherty High, that's right. She was best in fair overall. Yeah. And then you have 18 students who earned first place awards and represent the DCSS at the state social studies fair in April 26th April 25th of this next month. Beta Club, Auburn Middle School went to the Beta Club Regional Summit. They had outstanding leadership school, Beta Blitz national qualifier, and the Collaboration Connection National Qualifier. And then you have 2 of our amazing staff, Dr. Samantha Fields, who's art teacher at Dougherty and the lead art teacher for the district. I recently completed the National Art Education Association's School for Art Leaders program It's a nationally recognized professional leadership development program for art educators. She was selected as one of 24 art leaders from across the nation to participate in this cohort-based program. And then you have Mr. Roger Hubbard. He's assistant principal at Raven Springs Elementary School. He recently completed the Georgia Association of Educational Leaders Aspiring Principals Academy. It's a statewide program focused on preparing high-performing, high-potential assistant principals for the next level of leadership. Mr. Hubbard has already completed our Aspiring Principals program, and he sought to continue his professional development. He was selected to participate in this prestigious program through Gale, and he completed that earlier this month. So congratulations to them. And then, of course, the job fair we spoke about earlier. Congratulations to HR for another outstanding job fair, one of the best ever in 40 years, according to one administrator. Again, here you go to our board. Thanks for all you do. None of this would be possible if you weren't providing the governance that you do. We can have all the ideas in the world, but we don't raise your hand and vote to make them happen, then they don't get done. So thank you. It's a partnership, and I'm pleased to be a part of that partnership as we seek and we strive to make an impact on the lives of the students and families we've been called to serve. We already had our executive session, and so now I have any other questions, Madam Chair.
Any questions, board members?
We've had several very short meetings. This was not one of them. Probably one of the longest we've had on record, particularly one that doesn't relate to budget or taxes. But I think the time we spent recognizing our employees was well worth it, and I know they appreciate it, and they're certainly very well deserving. So excuse me for cramming all of this information into one meeting, but I want to make sure we kept you apprised of what was going on at the Capitol, and not at the same time not shortchange our employees by not giving them the recognition that they so very much deserve. So thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, board members. That's all I have.
It's a good day to be a board member.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Any other information needs to come before the Dougherty County School Board? Okay, may I
Motion
have
to
a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn?
Already done.
All in favor? All opposed? Stay here.